Hello everyone! Today I am going to be filming a bunch of wrap-ups. I haven't posted a wrap-up since May. That's because I haven't been reading a lot. The shame is actually real. I haven't been reading. It's been such a huge book slump for me. The thing is though, I have been reading, I just haven't finished any books. For example, I'm a third of the way through Nail on Fire. I'm like 100 pages in and I darken, and I'm almost done with the first Witcher book. So I have been reading, I just haven't been able to finish any books. But still, the shame is so real. I feel so bad because I just haven't been reading. And honestly, it's kind of a mixture of a reading slump, and also I've just been watching a lot of TV. I just finished watching Stranger Things with my family, which 10 out of 10 recommend, very good. And I've been watching some anime, and I've been really obsessed with one show, which I'm not going to get into because this is a wrap-up video. So I have been watching a lot of TV. But I am also in a book slump. I'm slapping myself on the wrist for not reading a lot, but hopefully that changes. I'm really hoping I can get back into the reading mood again. But that being said, I'm just going to jump into my June, July, and August wrap up. I read 8 books. 4 of them are manga, so take that as you will. So the first and only book I read in June was Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Me Before You is about a girl named Louisa, and she's trying to find a job. She just recently lost her job that she worked at for so long because the place was shutting down. So she's trying to find a different job, and this is where she meets Will, and she is going to be a caretaker for Will. So it's just about her and Will's journey together. It's a very good book and very emotional. And if you have not picked it up yet, I really do still suggest you pick it up because it is a great story, even if it is really emotional. I gave this book a 4.75 out of 5 stars, but it's mostly a 5 because I just really loved it. The next book I read in July was United as One by Pittacus Lore. I'm not gonna go into too much of this one. First of all, because I do have a full review on this book, so I will leave that down below if you want to check it out. And I also don't want to say too much about this one because it is the final book of the series, so I don't want to spoil anything. But this is the last book of the I Am Number 4 series, and I've talked about these books a few times on my channel, and I just really love them. It's not very heavy in its content, so it's not hard to read at all. You can fly through these books. If you like science fiction books and you kind of just want to read something that's fun and quick and easy, I would definitely suggest picking up the I Am Number 4 series because it's very good, and I was pretty satisfied with the way this ended. I wasn't completely satisfied, but I did enjoy it enough. So that is why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next thing I read in July was Black Butler Volume 1. I am not going to try to pronounce the author's name because I know I will butcher it. I gave this manga a 5 out of 5 stars. I watched season 1 of the anime and I fell in love. It's so good. I just cannot express how much I love the anime, and the manga did not disappoint. It was a very easy read for me just because I did watch the anime first, and it's basically exactly like the anime, at least this first one was. So it was very easy for me to just jump back into the world. But if you do not know what this is about a 13-year-old boy named Ciel, and he is an earl, and his parents were murdered, and he hires a demon to help find out who murdered his parents and also protect him. It is kind of a dark series. It has a lot of dark humor, and it kind of has some mature content in it, like blood and gore. I wouldn't really suggest it for younger readers. If you do think you can handle some of this kind of stuff, I definitely would suggest picking up the manga and also watching the anime because it's so good. And I'm going to stop talking about it now because every time I talk about this, I get really excited. Starting in the month of August, I read it August 1st, and I read it in one day, and that is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I really don't feel like I have to explain this book and what it's about because you should know by now. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And I do have a full-length review on this book as well, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link down below. I know there is a lot of mixed reviews on this book. I did have a lot of issues with this book, but overall I did really enjoy it. What really made this story great was Scorpius, though. I'm a huge fan of Draco Malfoy, and Scorpius was just even better, and I just want a whole book of just Scorpius talking. Like, I would read that because I love him so much, and I think that's why I love this book so much, because Scorpius was just great. But if you have read Harry Potter and you haven't picked this up yet because you're kind of worried about the reviews, I would just pick it up and read it yourself and see how you feel. Kind of just try to ignore what everyone else is saying about it and just read it and enjoy it and see if you like it or not. And even though I really did enjoy this book a lot, I did have some issues with it. So that's why I couldn't really give it a 5 out of 5 stars, but it was still very good. The next book I read makes me really happy. It's one that I love so much, and that is Hubbles Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This book, it made me really happy. I loved it so much. Kind of a quick backstory almost on why I picked this book up. I just randomly saw a clip from the movie Hubbles Moving Castle, and I watched that movie long time ago, probably in middle school, and I loved it. And I saw it again recently, and so I told my parents, I'm like, we have to watch this. Then I remembered that we had the DVD of Hubbles Moving Castle, so I'm like, alright, this is it. I got home from work, and I'm like, we're watching this movie right now because I love it so much, and I just need to watch it. And then after I watched it, I just remembered how much I loved it, and so I wanted to pick up the book. I didn't write any notes while I was reading this book, but I think I'm gonna do a book versus movie review because I have a lot of thoughts about how I feel about the book and the movie. I did give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was a little bit long at times. There was a few parts where I was like, this is kind of, it wasn't really boring, but I'm like, this really doesn't need to be in here. I can't decide if I like the book or the movie better. So that's probably why I'm gonna do a movie versus book review, because I really enjoyed both of them in their own ways. I will say, without really spoiling anything, I liked Howl better in this book than the movie, but I love them both. It's just, yeah. If you do love the movie and you haven't picked up the book yet, I do really recommend the book as well because it's just such a great tale and it's so heartwarming. And the last 3 books I read in August were actually manga, and I read Death Note volumes 1, 2, and 3. These manga are phenomenal. They are so good. I don't know why I haven't picked these up sooner. My dad owns the whole series, and he read them a long time ago, and he's always been kind of recommending them to me. He's like, Death Note, you should read Death Note, it's really good. Since I am in this reading slump, I wanted to pick up something that was easy to read, and a manga is perfect. So I started the series, and now I'm hooked. The first volume is about a boy named Light, and he's a perfect student. He's super smart, but he's very bored with his life. He comes across a notebook, and it's called the Death Note. And what the Death Note is when you write someone's name in it, they'll die. And so Light takes it upon himself to rid the world of evil, and he basically wants to make this perfect world. And then, of course, he's murdering a bunch of people, so L, a detective, shows up, and he is going to try to find who this person is that is murdering everyone. It's an excellent series. The first and second one I gave 5 out of 5 stars, and the third one I gave 4 out of 5 stars just because the third one was a little bit more slower than the first two, but they're still so good, and I highly recommend reading these. So these are all the books that I read in June, July, and August. I know it's so small, and I'm really hoping that I get out of this reading slump and I'm able to read more and finish some more books. I don't think there was any books that I didn't like, which is really good. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to, and I will talk to you next time. Bye! I'm not gonna forget to film a thumbnail this time. The past how many videos I've done, I forgot to film thumbnails, but I will not forget this time.